Friedrich Merz hat offiziell die Ampel 2.0 angekündigt und JD Vance gibt die europäische Politiker eine Klatsche auf die Nase. That's the things we're going to talk about today. Some really good news and some really bad news, all wrapped into one day. It's only Monday. It's Monday, the 17th of February, 2025. It's now 10:50 a.m. here in Germany. This is the Insanity Report for Germany for today. So, after I'd already done 2 videos on Friday, JD Vance went to Munich and gave a little speech. And, I think a lot of people felt like this. I remember when you were little, and probably a lot of people have experienced this, right? So you were little, and one of the teachers greatly overstepped their bounds. It was a teacher you hated. And then your parents went to school, or your mom went to school, and just told that bitch off. And you were like, yeah, go ma, right? That's what it felt like. I felt like I was like a little kid, and the bullies, the people that were bullying me were getting threatened by my like big brother who was in the Navy SEALs. It was great. It was amazing. And all the European politicians and the media and everybody, again, they got it wrong because they were speculating that Vance would come and, chastise them a little bit about their security and tell them again how Europe needs to stand a little bit more on their own 2 feet, needs to get their own security in order. And he said, no, I'm not really that worried about Russia. Actually, I'm more worried about you fucking censorious, tyrannical, totalitarian motherfuckers. And oh my God, if you watched the speech, right? You should, if you watched it, the faces of these politicians in the crowd were like priceless. It was amazing. It was glorious. Of course, then right after JD Vance was done, speaking only about democracy in Europe and how it's failing and freedom of speech and how the erosion of freedom of speech is not a good thing here in Europe, he also basically put the European Union on notice and said to them, listen, all right, listen, NATO protection is only really given to people who share our values. So censoring your citizens might be a problem for us, right? He didn't say it in that many words, but he did say it, right? He did say it. And of course the European politicians are so fucking stupid, right? Again, they're so fucking arrogant and stupid. It's unbelievable. The first you see Marcus Söder in the crowd rolling his fucking stupid eyes like, oh, what's this dumbass American guy know about any shit? And then you have Boris Pistorius, Mr. McWar, right? That motherfucker gets on TV and goes, well, we do accept free speech and freedom of opinion. We are very accepting of that we're here in Europe. But Mr. Vance's speech was unacceptable. He can't compare us to autocratic countries. How can he question our democracy? What the hell? Our democracy. Unsere Demokratie. There you have it again. These people are delusional. Okay? They're delusional. Do they not realize that in this case, in this relationship, they're like the bitch? Okay? That's how that works. Okay? Because until Europe can stand on its own 2 feet, make their own military calls, have their own military to back themselves up, then basically America is covering this union's ass with money and weaponry and American lives. So they certainly have an interest in how this country goes. So the European and German politicians can cry all they want about how this is undue election interference. This is interference in our government affairs. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Germany is running around and they're up in everybody's shit. Oh, Qatar, oh my God, you have to be feel-felt, you have to be gay and trans and in Qatar. The fuck are they talking about? You know what I'm saying? The fuck are they talking about? These motherfuckers get involved in everybody's lives, no matter if it's Germans or fucking anybody else on the planet. They think they can tell everybody how to live. And JD Vance gives a speech, right? And they're like, oh my God, he's interfering in our shit. How can he? It's just like Elon Musk. He's just like Elon Musk interfering in our democracy. These motherfuckers are crazy, right? These people are crazy. They really are. They're laughing. They're like, it's not funny, but it's funny to watch them. I mean, like how dumb they are, you know, how fucking stupid they are. It's unbelievable. And the only thing keeping them in power is not that they're so smart or so brilliant or such political geniuses. No, the only reason people like Bogus Pistorius and these fucking, and Marcus Suter and the CDU and the Green Party and the leftists, the only reason they're in power is because of stupid Germans. Right? I'm sorry to say it. That's why they're in power. Because they have the luxury of still having an uninformed or willingly uninformed, ignorant, dumb public that still votes for them, no matter how many people die because of their policies, no matter how many people basically can't afford shit anymore because of their policies, no matter how many people can't get along in their own home country because of the policies of these fucking morons, right? And then somebody finally comes from the United States and says, hey, this is really unacceptable. And they go, well, you're unacceptable. He can't tell us what to do. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? We're a democracy. No, really, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. Right? Basically, he was calling these politicians and the EU establishment Nazis, like I've been calling them this whole time. It's not me or the right or the AfD that are the Nazis. Who's acting like the Nazis? Not us. It's them. It's these establishment politicians like Friedrich Merz who gets on fucking stage after J.D. Vance's speech. He goes, well, hate speech and misinformation are legally challengeable, and that's how we do things. Our values, that's our values. No, motherfucker. No. That's not how it was. That's your values, not your values. That's not the values of Western countries. Western countries are supposed to have free speech and actual forms of democracy. Not these gutted fucking, cut at the knees forms of democracy where basically party establishment decides what's democracy and what's not, what's free speech and what's not, what's fake news is and what's not. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's a completely warped, perverted, like facade of democracy. That's what this is. That's where we live here in Germany. We don't live in a real democracy. We live in a faux democracy, a theater democracy. And you saw in the faces of these European politicians, that's how they want to keep it. But in this case, guys, I think it's good news. I think America is going to save the European citizenry from these evil, Nazi-esque, leftist, crazy politicians that want to implement insane policies, woke, stupid policies that make no sense. I think that America is going to save the Europeans from that, at least for the next 4 years. And if J.D. Vance becomes president after 4 years, it'll continue that way. Because Europe wants to bring in the DSA, the Digital Services Act. They want to do it, I think, in July. That basically means that your trusted flaggers and fact checkers are going to just start removing content from the internet or demanding it be removed at the social media platform level. And they're going to start demanding that shit gets removed at the behest of the government here in Germany and the other European countries. Well, I don't think that's going to work with Donald Trump in the House and J.D. Vance in the House. Like J.D. Vance said in his speech, there is a new sheriff in town. And he wasn't just talking about America. He was talking about the European politicians have to understand it's a new sheriff in town, also your town, right? And the way you guys are running the show is not the way we like to see it being run. I'm sorry. You want NATO protection, you're going to have to adhere to our values. Makes sense to me. All right? Makes sense to me. Because the Europeans are up in everybody's fucking business all over the world. And so J.D. Vance has a legitimate complaint because, again, he wants to deal with people that are on his level politically and democratically, and the European politicians for the most part are not. That's why J.D. Vance would very well work with the AfD and wants to work with the AfD, and so does Donald Trump, and so does Elon Musk. But they don't really want to work so much with Olaf Scholz and Friedrich Merz and these motherfuckers. They're like, nah, we're good. We're good. We don't need to talk to them. I mean, J.D. Vance left before Ursula von der Leyen's speech, and of course, they got to put on his team said, oh, he had other appointments he had to get to and flights to catch and blah, blah. Look, J.D. Vance doesn't give a fuck about Ursula von der Leyen. You know what I'm saying? She is meaningless to him. She's a corrupt hack politician. That's what she is. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what it looks like she is, because she's being investigated for corruption. So, we'll see. She's being investigated by her peers. Probably nothing will come of it. But, see, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance don't want to deal with the EU. They will deal with the individual countries who vie and decide for their individual interests. So when the media here in Germany freaks out about, spaltet Europa, that's right. That's right. They're right about that. That's not fake news. They're right. Spaltet Europa. That's right. And it's goddamn thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, J.D. Vance. Because living under this bureaucratic umbrella in Brussels, I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? These individual countries have to decide if they're going to go for their own interest or not, and they will individually make deals with America. Europe does not speak with one voice at all. It's going to be too tiring, too bureaucratic, and too insane to deal with the EU as such for America. So they will just make deals with individual countries. And basically that's why Ursula von der Leyen doesn't mean shit to J.D. Vance. And that's why he doesn't care what she has to say. That's why he also didn't care what Olaf Scholz had to say, because he didn't talk to him either. I don't think he talked to Friedrich Merz either. I think he talked to Elise Weidel, though. I'm not sure, but I think so. What's that show? That shows that the Trump administration wants to deal with adults and not a bunch of over-adolescent babies that cry about everything. I mean, he even said it. If your democracy can't handle a couple of tweets because your fucking politicians are taking your citizens to court over what they say about them online, then your shit is not a real democracy. Okay? It was amazing. It was. If you haven't seen this speech, go watch it. J.D. Vance at the European Security Conference. He told these motherfuckers off. And yet, we're going to see in the next weeks, or at least up until election time, that what he said was completely unacceptable, and we're going to, oh my God, it's so crazy. Well, the good thing is, even the North, because this speech was played on the Öffentlich-Rechtliche, so it's on ARD, ZDF, it's on Tagesschau, Phoenix Runde, the whole fucking shit was playing this speech, so even the normies got to see what J.D. Vance said. And trust me, as much as people hate America for some of the shit that they've done, I don't agree with America on a lot of shit they've done, a lot of it, you know what I mean? But even the normies are going to look at this and go, wait a minute. So even the fucking vice president of America sees what all these so-called Aluhut Verschwörungstheoretiker, all them see in here in Europe? Wait a second, maybe they're right. See, and that's what the establishment is super scared of. They're like, oh my God. Everybody saw this. Everybody saw this speech. And they're going to be thinking, oh my God, we've been painting these people as conspiracy theorists and Aluhutträger the whole time, because there's no attack on free speech in Europe. That's crazy. Everybody can say whatever the hell they want. That's crazy. And yet now the vice president of America is coming to Europe and telling them Germans and the Europeans that their number one problem is the censorship of the people that vote for them and suppression of the people's votes that vote for parties they don't like. And now even normie people are going to go, huh. So is the president, the vice president of the United States, an Aluhutträger, the conspiracy theorist like the rest of these people? Probably not. Maybe there's something to it, what he said. Maybe he's telling the truth. Yeah. Well, either way, people, I think J.D. Vance has single-handedly saved free speech in Europe, at least for the time being. Because I don't think that Europe is going to be able to negotiate a DSA or Digital Services Act and be able to implement it on American companies. That's not going to work out. Because you see, there's one thing that J.D. Vance, of course, does have an interest in. The European politician can say, well, that's our business and we do things the way we want to do. Well, yeah, kind of. But when you implement the Digital Services Act, you are also censoring Americans that have comments or make comments from America on these social media platforms. And that means that if the European Union or the European establishment doesn't like something or thinks something is misinformation, that they can now censor Americans, because all they have to do is tell their trusted flaggers, oh, this is a misinformation right here. And they'll go, well, yeah, but that's coming from an American citizen. Right, but Europeans still read it, so they want it censored. So thereby they're censoring Americans, and they're infringing on the free speech rights, the First Amendment rights of Americans, by implementing the Digital Services Act on an American company here in Europe. So that's not going to fly, people. You know what I'm saying? That might have gone with Biden or some of the other presidents. That shit is not going to go well with Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or Elon Musk. And for all those people that say, well, he's just doing that to protect his buddy, Elon Musk, so that Elon Musk doesn't have to fuck around with the EU and all the regulations. Well, maybe, but that's also part of the job of a vice president or president, is to protect the interests of their major companies. So that's not that weird. Europe and Germany do the same thing in other countries. So that's not that weird. Stop letting yourself get convinced by stupid arguments like that makes no sense. That's the job of every government that in the world, is they have to protect the interest of their big business and of their country. And that's what JD Vance is doing. If Elon Musk just happens to benefit from that, that's all right. It's all right with me. Plus, Elon Musk shouldn't have to deal with a bunch of red tape, censorship, totalitarian, bureaucratic bullshit in Europe. Just because the EU wants to clamp down on its citizens doesn't mean that they should be able to impose that shit on Elon Musk or the companies that he has. So, sorry, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I don't think it's going to work like that. Now, that being said, that speech is great. Everybody should go watch it. The European politicians are shitting a brick. They're all got their panties in a bunch. They're all tripping out. And it's great to watch. I love watching it because really, I don't take anything these fucking people say seriously anymore. I don't give a shit what they say. You know, I don't care. I also didn't watch the TV-duelle with the chancellor candidates because really, I already know what it's going to be like. It's going to be ORR bullshit, you know, propaganda. And they're going to clamp down on Alice Weidel. They're going to fucking never let her speak. And they're going to talk about how Nazi-esque the AfD is. And they're going to complain about JD Vance. And they're going to say they're going to do something about immigration. And Friedrich Merz actually said the quiet part out loud on one of these TV-duels, right? Again, I didn't watch it, but I know enough about it, right? He actually said that when asked who he's going to be able to form a coalition with, he said what we've all been thinking was going to happen this whole time. And he said, well, you know, the charts say it's going to be red-green. So he's going against his core voting group, who doesn't want anything to do with the Green Party. Friedrich Merz doesn't care. The CDU doesn't care. No, the fight is not again. And this is after JD Vance's speech. Now they're going to go ahead and still try to keep the AfD out. So these people are like petulant, obstinate teenagers that aren't getting their way, and they're going to try to go ahead and keep pushing. But let me tell you, if they push this through, America will see it, right? And don't let them fool you people into thinking that they have autonomy when it comes to decision making here in Europe and here in Germany. They don't. They absolutely don't. You see? Because if JD Vance came here and lectured them for 30 minutes on free speech, democracy, and not excluding parties from that are democratically voted in, the AfD in this case, and they turn around 5 seconds later and do all those things and then some, that's going to piss America off, okay? And they're not going to be pissed at us, right? They're going to be pissed at these politicians that didn't get the fucking message. And they're going to have to deal with that. I'm telling you. They're going to have to deal with it. And they're not going to like it. They are not going to like it at all. But it's going to be, they better heed the warning, and they're not doing it now. They have to save face. They have to be like, oh my God, he's attacking unsere Demokratie. Look, they better just shut the fuck up and get in line. That's what they ought to do, right? That's what they should do. If they want any sort of deal that's going to benefit Germany or them in any way, they should get in line and stop acting like petulant little snot-nosed fucking brats like Luisa Neubauer or fucking Greta Thunberg or whatever the fuck. Another thing that JD Vance said, which was hilarious, he said, if we had to endure 10 years of listening to Greta Thunberg, you people can endure a couple of years of Elon Musk. And he's fucking right there too. Oh my God, you should have seen these people's faces, yo. They hated it. They wanted to blow JD Vance's brains out right there on stage. If they could have, they would have, but they can't. You know what I'm saying? They can't. All they can do is come get on TV here and hope that, you know, that them lying about JD Vance, Donald Trump, Elon Musk will get the German public back into line into thinking that the CDU is going to be their savior. Well, the CDU announced just the other day they're not going to be your savior. They are going to form a coalition, probably with red, and if necessary with green, or both. So you're going to vote for the CDU, people, and you're going to get a leftist, woke, crazy ideological government, which is going to be worse than Ampel 1.0. This will be Ampel 2.0, and I guarantee you it will not last a complete term. It will be Neuwahlen before you know it, and hopefully then the AfD finally gets in. I actually hope, I have a sliver of hope that the AFD will get in this time. Why? Because Friedrich Merz announced to the world the other day, even the normies watching öffentliche Medien, even the normies, he said, I am going to piss on your head and tell you that it's rain. I'm going to make a coalition with green and red, even though I know that most of you don't want that. And if green is mentioned, I know most of you are about to get a fucking heart attack, but I don't care. That's who I'm going to do it with, because I'm not going to do it with AFD. Told you people that. So if you don't want that, basically vote for us, and that's what you'll get. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Friedrich Merz doesn't give a shit about his voter base. The CDU doesn't give a shit about their voter base. They don't care about the German people. They don't care to see German people fare better than they have been the last 4 years. They're not going to bring any sort of political change. They're not going to do anything. And they announced it. And I hope that basically ruined the chances that that they had, and that even their most loyal voters will now go, okay, well, in that case, since he admitted it, before he admitted it, we were just kind of stabbing in the dark as to will he's going to do it. He might even go at the AFD, right? I mean, he hasn't denied it completely. He's only denied the AFD, and that's just words. And what happened before the election is not the same as what happens after the election. But he just came out and admitted it, people. He came out and said, I'm not going to do the AFD. I'm going to definitely choose red or green. And you're going to get what you voted for, people. If you people vote for this shit, you guys are crazy, right? You guys are fucking crazy. And everybody who voted for it deserves everything they get. So don't come complaining when a member of your family gets run over at a market by some crazy Islamist. Don't come to me complaining about getting stabbed in the fucking neck while you're doing your shopping. Don't complain to me about any of that shit. Don't complain to me if you have to get rid of your fucking heating system that's still perfectly good and spend $200,000 that you don't have renting a house that's supposed to be yours at the behest of the government. Don't cry. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear shit from y'all. Nothing. You have the choice this coming Sunday to stop this shit in its tracks, like America did with Donald Trump, like all of the other neighboring countries have done with the right-wing populist parties that they voted into office. You can stop this madness. And if you choose not to, that's your fault. Friedrich Merz is not hiding it. He's not lying to y'all. He's telling y'all openly on the fucking state propaganda media that all these people that vote for them watch, right? He's telling you to your face, I'm going to make a coalition with your enemy because I want to, because I can. And I don't care what you think until it's 4 years from now and you have to vote for me again. Then I'm going to pretend once again to care what you think. And I actually fucking don't, right? Because again, now, after Munich, 2 more people are dead. More dead kids. In Austria, another dead kid, a 14-year-old, stabbed by an Islamist, stabbed to death just over the weekend. Now the 2 people that were involved in the Munich terrorist attack, also dead. A 2-year-old again, and his mother. And probably the Linksgrüne will say, ach, sie sind zumindest zusammengestorben. It's not that big of a deal. Guys, it doesn't really affect anybody. That's them. That's them. They're these evil, fucking horrible people. It's them. Right? They're Hitler. They're the Nazis. Don't fucking tell me any shit about us being Nazis, us being violent, us being cruel, and unemotional about shit. That's not true at all. It's them. It's all them. And we all know it. And it's time we just call that shit out. You know what I'm saying? I don't take anything these fucking people say seriously, and I never will. You know what I mean? They are absolutely illegitimate in my eyes. I wouldn't do a thing they said. You know what I'm saying? They can kiss my ass completely. They are not governing my life whatsoever. And fuck them, really. I really hope that the German people make the right choice this time and go ahead and go. Give the AFD a fucking chance. Let them try to tackle this shit because they're the only ones that seem to want to. All right, guys, if you want to get all my stuff delivered directly to your inbox, then all you got to do is subscribe to my Substack. It's there on the screen. It's allaboutlogic.substack.com. And if you go there and subscribe for free or for $5 a month, you will get access to all my content, whether it's articles I write or the videos I do, and then you will get everything centralized in one place. All the other platforms are still somewhat censorious, so TikTok especially, so things don't show up or get taken down or banned. And of course, articles I can't publish on video platforms. So the Substack is the best place to go to get everything I do, including my articles. Guys, I hope you have a good day. Like I said, it's a great day for free speech in Europe after Friday's speech with J.D. Vance. Perfect. it's not such a great future outlook for Germany with Friedrich Merz at the helm if he really gets voted in. Because, I mean, I saw the poll numbers, and they basically are at 30% still. I don't think that's true. That seems impossible to me. How could they be? After this epic failure, and then announcing to the world they're going to make a coalition with Red and Green. That's crazy to me. I don't think they're at 30%. I think they're lower, and I think that they're going to get a big fucking surprise on Sunday. I just don't think it's going to be big enough. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the German people have had enough. Maybe there's enough dead kids. We're going to find out. All right, people. Take it easy. We'll see you on tomorrow's Insanity Report for Germany. Peace.